All right, welcome to the Imagine Exposure Vodcast. I have a very special guest today. This particular person is one of the first persons that I got in contact with in terms of considering the notion of Grace to Cultivate, just her business acumen, specifically around the subject of accounting. And so I want to introduce to our podcast watchers, listeners, etc., the great Linnie Garrett. How you doing, Linnie?
Hi, I'm doing. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so first question out the gate: who are you, and how do you define yourself?
Me, I am as simple as it is, just me. I'm a person who cares a lot about others. I'm a person who is truly an analyst. Therefore, puts me in the position that I am as an accountant. I analyze mostly often, just in general, just make sure that, hey, whatever's happening at this moment around me or with me, at least all parties are getting the max benefit, because that's how much I care in general for others, period. So I am me, but I'm a person who cares and who analyzes as well.
Awesome. Okay, so as it pertains to work and vocation, what's your story?
My story started off when I was a kid. I am an all-out daddy's girl. So my father, the first thing we bonded over was math.
Okay.
So after we bonded over math and we were taking it, and I was going to daycare and I started tutoring, I was getting really good at it. So I started helping, like at the age of 6, I was helping like older kids who were like 7 or 8 in other classes with their math work. And it just started snowballing from there. And then in high school, I joined ROTC, right? Because I'm, as I said, I'm an analytical person. So I was like, if I join ROTC, that's one less outfit I have to worry about. I was thinking about
I love how that. Okay, got it. I was like, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I could do this. And then I got the first day of class and I was like, wait, no, this isn't for me. I don't care how many pairs of clothes I need to wear. I just know this class, I'm not built for it. So I changed my elective to accounting. And it was a basketball coach, Coach Bias. And from then on, after I was getting it, I was like, oh, I like this. This is it for me. Whatever I do, I would like to be an accountant, period. I didn't necessarily, at that time, I was a freshman, I didn't necessarily know that it was needed for like a degree per se, because I considered it a trade, right? Once you know the ins and outs of debit, credits, liabilities, and assets, it's pretty much standard across the board. So I didn't necessarily think beyond that. I just thought it was a trade. So that's how it started for me.
So you said it like very like nonchalant, like debit credit, but for other people, like, what? But that's your world. You love it, and so that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So, what is the biggest misconception of your job?
That is strictly math. That it is complicated word problem, and it's not. It's beyond math. Like, accounting can put you in doors or rooms that you never think that you could be a part of, and you don't have to say anything, right? You can just literally sit there, take notes, and then discuss with whomever you're there for, and so to speak, in a sense. So it's not that complicated, especially with technology. Like, all you have to do is plug in the numbers, and it's that. So it's not It's not overwhelming. It's not just math. It's really more so about communicating and conversing. Like if you are a marketing person or someone who likes to talk, who's personable, accounting literally is right up your alley because it's next door to finance, right? And it's next door to management. It's
I think
perfect.
you're downplaying the brilliance. I think you're downplaying. You turned it down. You just turned. It's okay. It's all right.
Oh,
It's no big deal. It is. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. I'm so happy to hear that. All right. So, what would you say is the biggest? No. Who are the people in your vocational story in which you're most grateful?
I am most grateful for first is my father,
Mm-hmm.
for hook, line, and sinker. Like he got me. Math was his thing. Math became my thing. It was great. After
Mm-hmm.
probably be my fourth grade teacher, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Hart. And the
Okay.
only why is because she taught me at an early age that it is okay to do things differently, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she was teaching, I think we were learning fractions.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was teaching me one way, and she was teaching another in class. And I was yelling up and down, like, Daddy, you're wrong.
Oh my goodness!
And
Wow.
it got so bad that he had a conversation with her, and she
Mm-hmm.
had to sit me down and tell me, hey, when you're here at school, you'll have to do it my way. But when you're at home and your father's helping you,
Mm-hmm.
you should probably do it his way.
We're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna put a pin in that. That's good. So you say her name one more time because I think her name kind of broke up when you said Har. What's her name again?
Hardnet.
Miss Harnett. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. School teachers are amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Um. Well, you finished. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, that's it.
Good. Okay.
Besides bias, obviously, because he was the accounting teacher.
For sure. For sure. How did your childhood passions as a kid prepare you for your adult career choice?
Ooh. Um, my childhood passion, I guess it's the drive that I had for the passion, right? That drive still is in me today. So any project that I get or anything that is up, like I'm on it thinking about it. Like, okay, this is what's happening right now. This is what I see. I'm asking the questions like, are you sure you want to do it this way? Or if that's what you want to do, have you thought about these different types of avenues? So the drive that I had to being a great athlete or the best
Mm-hmm.
athlete at school or making the best grades during that time, I kept with me. And that's who I am today when it comes down to my profession.
Okay. Cool. All right. How would you explain what you do as a professional in a sentence? How would you explain what you do as a professional in one word?
In a sentence, I am a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
In a word, hmm, watcher.
Mm. Love it, love it, love it. What do you love the most about your job?
Um, what I love most about my job is the knowledge to learn, like, or the capability to look at a statement and know what's happening.
Mm.
Like I don't have to be in the company. I don't have to know the ins and outs. Hey, send me your numbers. I read them as they look and say, ooh, that looks good. That looks scary. What's going on here? And kind of figure out where you are in your company. And I think that's pretty good. Like, no one had to say anything. You just gave me your numbers and I can tell your story from there.
Wow. Okay, okay. What is the biggest challenge in your work?
Um, the biggest challenge is the experience.
Mhm.
especially coming out the gate, everybody wants experience. Everybody wants all these things, yet you just graduated and you don't have it technically.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you don't have to be like 20, 35 years in the game to understand what's happening and have ideas and stuff like that. And so sometimes, because quote unquote you're the youngest one there, your opinions or suggestions go unheard until you have
until the last thing. I missed the last thing you said.
Until you have to fix it, right?
That's different.
It's different.
I hear that. Okay. What steps must a person accomplish to either become certified or respected in your profession?
First step is to automatically be considered like certified is to go for your CPA license, right? That's an additional, well, for sure it's 150 credit hours, because I don't know what the credit hours for each institution to graduate. And then you have to take this 4-part test. Other than that is ultimate experience.
Okay. All right. This is a big question for me. I remember working in a specific nonprofit, and someone shared that specifically in our community, communities of African descent, one of the things that we have a difficult time is negotiation. And so my question is, how does a person in your field either negotiate salary or the value of their services for your career choice?
For me, that was difficult for me as well. I'm not gonna lie. What I had to do was I had to leave and come back in order to negotiate a higher potential earning. Yeah. In addition to that, because I initially set up where, hey, this is what I do, this is what I like, all the steps on how I am an asset, and this is what I'm requesting, such and such. But at the time with the company that I was originally with, he gave, but once again, I can read the numbers. Right. So because I can read numbers, I went back and kept asking, well, what is it more, or what is it that I'm missing to qualify me for the quantity that I'm requesting? I didn't necessarily get a direct answer. So with that being said, I started looking for employment elsewhere. But to circle back around, the same person who I worked for, who I currently work with now, and I am at a number that I like. So, once again, like I said, I'm a big person on the productivity that I provide, things that I'm capable of. Hey, this is it. This is what the numbers look like. This is what I've read. This is my support. I know my value. And so, yeah, I left. And so I got this number that I thought I deserved. And so then he called me and he was like, hey, there's a position open. Was able to discuss more because he knew that I left with a higher number. So obviously he had to come in higher than that. And yeah, that's sometimes you just have to show them what you're worth. And if it's still not resulting in what you believe you deserve, there's no harm in trying out somewhere else, and they will learn. Hey, it's okay.
They will learn. I got you. That's awesome. And I think young people need to hear that, right? I think sometimes somewhere in the process just doesn't get communicated, just so happy to be there. And it's like, no, like we're professional. Like, of course, Anyway. So this is the time machine question. Based on what you know now, if you were to get into a time machine and go back to yourself on the first day of the job, what would you tell yourself?
Um, it's okay to make the error. It's okay to make the error. In accounting, everyone assumes that you can't mess up. And trust me, before any number goes out into the public, that accountant has messed up several times, went back and corrected it, changed it, all because it didn't read right. Right? This isn't this story that I'm trying to tell. This isn't the correct story at all. So make the mistake, but then learn from it, because that's the only way it works. Like I also coach on the side, and that's what I tell my girls. I tell them, like, hey, the only way that I can coach you is if you actually try, so I can see the error.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't see the error, then I can't coach it. But then if you're not trying for me to see the error, there's a good chance we're not going to win. So
it seems like you're helping in every area. Like you're putting out fires here and helping. Like I'm sure that's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. This is the nuance that you're talking about accounting, but I'm sure there's a lot of other things happening. Well, I think that it's just a hypothesis, if you will. All right. Did I miss anything? That was good.
mm-mm.
Got it. Okay. How do you prepare to one day transition from this role? Like, what does in game look like? What does retirement like? What does that look like to plan for that?
So currently right now I am looking to get into another personal goal is life insurance policy, another one. I currently have one now, but as I'm getting older, thinking about getting another one and divvying up that a little different than the one that I currently have. But yeah, the transition really is to just up and leave. Like, hey, I'm done. What I would love to do personally is to mentor someone who wants to be an accountant, and then, if possible, as I'm with the current company now or any future companies that I'm with, if I could use them and intern them, right? Because obviously we want them to have the degree, but it's just like training. Hey, they've been here for a while, maybe they can get in. So maybe then I can start transitioning, because the last thing I also don't want to do is, even though it happens all the time and obviously I can be replaced, but to just leave people without help, So as I get up in age, and if I want to transition either 2 weeks from now or 10 years from now, I would really love to have somebody that I could bring on board to the company, teach them, get them up to speed, start them off of wherever, and then piecemeal some of the things that I usually do so they could get into a routine. So then when I do choose to transition, I can say, hey, well, he or she has been doing this. They're capable. Hey, they should be able to get this done. They're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. And by the time I had to put in my 2 weeks, I was kind of already out the door.
I got you. And I feel like that method that you just shared is very considerate. Like it's very thinking of others even more than yourself. You know what I mean? Like there's a plan in there. So for sure. The Cultivate countdown. What is your Cultivate countdown? I know saying you can do anything in 3 steps is, but what are some of the things that you glean in terms of your however many steps that would be helpful as a CPA?
As a CPA is one, read the information. Read what's in front of you. Do not just automatically assume. Pay attention to the ands, the buts, or the ors, because they actually matter.
Sure.
After you do that, book the entry. Just go for it. Book it. See what it looks like. If you think it should be this way and it doesn't, then you have to change it. At the same time, keep the information or the support of why you booked it, because that's pretty much all it is. Accounting is really support. Why did you have to book this way? If you can prove that, you'll pass your audit and the numbers are valid. And it's that simple.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. You have a wonderful quote. Please tell us, what is your motivational quote that's unique to you?
The numbers don't lie, but make sure it makes sense, and sense as in NTS.
You said it one more time. It faded out a little bit.
The numbers don't lie, but make sure they make sense. Sense is spelled CENTS.
And there you have it. Thank you so much, Linnie, for agreeing to this podcast. Are there any final thoughts, anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to
cover? No, I think this is wonderful. I hope I was able to inspire a future accountant.
Absolutely.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me, definitely reach out to me via email at lg3consulting@yahoo.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linnie, for your time, and you have a great day.
Thank you.
Recording stop.